You know? Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton. It's time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television, and we do a few reality shows on the side for now. And one of the reality shows that we're doing is RuPaul's Drag Race. And since everyone is so goddamn concerned with spoilers, I'm like 3 weeks behind. So I just saw the episode where they had to do, it's the episode right before Snatch Game. That's next week. I can't wait for that. That's my favorite episode of, even though I haven't seen every single episode of every season. I saw All Stars. Oh my God, and Ben de la Creme as fucking Paul Lynde. It would have been a little bit more appropriate if he had done Charles Nelson Riley, because Paul Lynde was more Hollywood Squares. But but really, Charles Nelson Riley was the Paul Lynde of the Match Game. So either way, whatever, it was fine. He did a great job. Oh, he was so good. Okay, anyways, so it was the episode before the Snatch Game. So in this particular episode, they were separated into, first things first. They had to, they had to separate into three groups of three, because there was 9 queens. Okay, so there was 3 groups of 3, and they had to form a RuPaul's Drag Race Drag Con, which I can't believe that they even do that still. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I think it's wonderful. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that this is like, what, the 4th, 5th annual Drag Con, and General Hospital's only had 2? What? And none of the other shows have them. I would love a Days Con. That would be great. But Drag Race, those bitches will turn out for that. Whatever. Drag's having a moment. So good for you. Everyone involved with this show. Kudos to you. Okay. So they get separated into 3 groups. And the 3 groups have to either be body, face, and hair. So Eureka, who won the last challenge, she picks 2 of the people she picks the 2 people she thinks that need it the most, right? So she picks Monet Exchange and Cameron Michaels. And I gotta tell you, their fucking panel was the shit. It was the fucking bomb. And they were talking about proportionizing. That's the word that they made up, and they used it all over the place. And it was great. They did such a really good job. It was very on point, very on brand. And they talked about how, Cameron Michaels has to do different things because he's a muscle queen, and he's got that upside down pyramid for his shape. And then we also talked about, what Monet Exchange has to do because she's got such a large ass, and how she needs to, pad up top because of it. And Eureka's talking about, I'm a big girl. But it isn't until I actually pulled that motherfucking waist in and I started to feel sexy. I thought it was great. It was very body positive. They took one of the pit crew. I thought this was interesting. They took one of the pit crew, and all 3 teams got to work their magic on him. And at the end of the episode, what's funny is that I feel like there are times when I look at myself and I go, oh, I actually look like I've lost a little bit of weight. But the reality is I've gained 12 pounds. But maybe it's muscle, because I have been pole dancing a lot lately. Maybe. One can only hope, right? Anyways, so in terms of the face group, okay, the face group was Asia O'Hara. Who else was in the face group? Aquaria, and I want to say, Monique Hart. Yes, Monique Hart. So Monique Hart, Aquaria, I'm getting better at learning everyone's names. I know we're like a few episodes in, and I still can't get it. But anyways, so Aquaria and those 3, they were the face queens. And they were okay. They did provide some good information, but not enough good information. It was all right. They were middle of the road. So when it came time to judge the three groups, they were safe. Eureka's group obviously won. And the winner of the challenge was Eureka. And it should have been, because she was great. She did a really great job. And, you know, I'm sure Monet and Cameron were grateful to be in the top three, right? So I have no shade, no tea, no shade on that. That is fierce. Okay, so the bottom three were Ms. Cracker, Blair St. Clair, and the Vixen. And what was interesting was that for their panel, okay, so for the other two panels, they had a specific moderator. Like Eureka was the moderator for their panel, and then someone else was I think it was Asia O'Hara was the moderator for the face panel. And then for the hair panel, they were like, well, we're all going to take turns moderating. Mistake number one. And they kind of, now don't get me wrong, I love me a bitchy queenie insult. I love it. You know, I love a good read. But there were a few reads that they had that were kind of mean. And like, Michelle and Rue did not find them funny at all. So those were the bottom, and they were really taking pot shots at Blair. And Blair did get a couple zingers in, but I mean, for the most part, she's just like, oh well, you know. So those were the bottom three. Now I got to give Miss Cracker credit, because she was convinced that she was going to be lip syncing for her life, and she totally wasn't, but she thought she was. And in that, she was like, I'm more upset, because remember, last week we found out that Miss Cracker is very down on herself all the time. She's a little bit of a perfectionist, and I totally get that. I understand that 100%. So we found out last week that Miss Cracker that is a perfectionist, and this week she's like, you know, I am a comedian. I'm a comedian drag queen, and they said I'm not funny. And that really hurts. And like, I get that. I get that like nobody's business. I totally get you, Miss Cracker. I get it. It is. That sucks, huh? But many times comedians, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of this whole mess about Roseanne. You know, she told a joke let me rephrase that. She thought she was telling a joke, and it obviously fell so flat that the network dropped her sitcom. And other comedians have said, you know, we can't defend that tweet, but there have been moments where all of us have taken a swung and missed. You know, not every joke lands, right? So I get Miss Cracker being like, I can't believe, but it turns out that this bitch turned it out on the runway, because the theme was big hats, and what's her name? Cameron Michaels had on this like sphere on her. It was very Lady Gaga inspired, and she was like this gyroscope she had on her head that was kind of going around. That was kind of cool. And then like Aquaria had on these big bunny ears with a hat on one of the ears. That was super cool as well. Blair St. Clair was giving me just Southern debutante. But the fierce thing about Miss Cracker is Miss Cracker took a wig, and she made a wig into her hat. It looked fucking fierce. It was fierce. And I think that runway look saved her from the bottom too, because she was told that she was safe. So Blair St. Clair and the Vixen had to go up against each other. And in this episode, Blair St. Clair talked about how her first experience had happened in college, and she had been raped, and she told everyone about it. And she said that that's why she's so rainbows all the time. You know, she tries to cover up that darkness by putting so much sugary sweetness over it that it's almost artificial. But it's not quite, but it's, you know. And so she was kind of explaining that. But you know what? She still went home. She went home. Yeah, spoiler alert, she still went home. But you know what? Kudos to you for speaking your truth, Blair St. Clair. I'm sure you helped millions of kids that are having this same, male and female, that are having this same issue. So good for you for bringing that to light. It's never good to sit on that kind of a secret. So I think that's wonderful. Yeah, so the vixen, she was sobbing though. She was so upset she had to send her friend home. But everybody, even Aquaria, which Blair was like, that's the last person I expected to write me a note. Every single girl wrote her a goodbye note. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. That means that people really liked her. So I can't wait to see next episode, to see the 8 Queens for Snatch Game. Oh my God, Kristen Chenoweth the last time. Oh my God, she was so funny. She was so funny. I love her. Okay, anyways. Also, before I go, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Drag Race or RPDR to talk RuPaul's Drag Race, or you can also hashtag Days or DOOL to talk Days of Our Lives, because I'm doing that next. And I still have this gift bag, this autographed gift bag from the cast of General Hospital. I'm still auctioning that off for AIDS Project Los Angeles. 100% of the proceeds are going to AIDS Project Los Angeles, so please click on the link in the description of the video and make a bid. I would appreciate it. All right, thanks for logging on today. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.